It's hard enough trying to film a time-lapse in a studio, so imagine trying to film a time-lapse outdoors somewhere like this. There are so many things that could go wrong. The sun can be covered by clouds, it can start raining, and let's face it gets dark every day. Look what happens after just 9 hours, condensed into a few seconds. Absolutely nothing is constant. The gentlest breeze moves everything around, and the light continually flickers, making photography a nightmare. So how do you film bluebells as they flower beneath a canopy of beech leaves, a shot that can only be achieved outdoors? Well, this was the task set for time-lapse specialist Richard Kirby for David Attenborough's Private Life of Plants.
And then bring the camera back up through the branches. It'd be incredibly difficult to recreate a 150-year-old wooden floor in a studio, to actually recreate it accurately. We've got 3 weeks in which to film this, between now and when the bluebells are over, and only one shot at it.
And the answer is to take the studio to the bluebells.
We can build this tent in 2 days. It does actually present other problems, actually filming outside. I mean, for example, if we had a gale or whatever, that might cause problems, or a tent blowing down or whatever. And to actually keep the whole thing powered up and working with the temperature changes that you get in a situation like this, there's all sorts of problems that we're going to get. But it's going to be a lot easier filming it out here than it would be to try and do it in the studio.
Having excluded the daylight, Richard must provide an artificial equivalent so the plants grow normally. Grow lights, film lights, camera and tracking system are all controlled by computers.
With time-lapse, you've got to try and imagine how the shot is going to develop over weeks. You know, because it's going to change, especially if you're doing a time-lapse track, from your start shot to the end shot, and you never know quite what the end shot's going to look like. Okay, that's a great start position. Do you want to set that?
All right, you ready?
Okay, yeah. That looks great. Huh?
One of the things that makes this shot so ambitious is that in addition to all the usual problems, the camera will be tracking up a specially designed rail. After each exposure, the camera will move a step higher so that the final result will appear as one smooth glide into the sprouting branches.
Back. Back a bit more. Back a bit more, that's it. Okay, set that as the end position. I don't know whether this is going to present us with any surprises. I hope not, actually, because it's the action should be fairly straightforward.
To leave nothing to chance, Richard even wraps a tiny electric blanket around the lens to prevent condensation. One final check of the lights, and the time-lapse can begin.
And again.
Despite the computer coordinating both the camera and the lights, Richard and his assistant take it in turns to check the equipment around the clock. This is the final spring before the series is to be shown on television, so it's the last chance to get the shot. After the first 10 days, the difficult period is over and all is going well. Then, disaster.
What actually happened was that we started to pull focus onto the buds, and then for some mysterious reason, and I still haven't found it out, the track actually stopped. Came in the morning, and the track, the control box for the track was flashing off. And the trouble is, you can't actually continue the shot then. You can't just start the track running again, because in the intervening period, the buds have continued to open, the leaves have continued to emerge from the buds. So we had to start all over again. Had to start the whole thing over again.
Everything had to be ready to go immediately to catch the last of the action. All appeared to have gone well, but only after an agonising wait for the film to return from the labs could Richard be certain of what he'd shot.
You can always think of ways that it could be improved. You can always think, oh, well, I wish I could do that again. I'm always very critical of my own film work anyway. But, so on the whole, I think this rates pretty highly because I'm not being overly critical about it. I think actually it works quite nicely.